3.
Bro, we are here at, this is Atlanta, right? We in Atlanta, right?
Yes, sir. Yes,
right,
sir.
no, I'm just fucking with y'all. Give me a little bit of history about how you got into this. And you know, just the whole vibe, man, because I know you are one of the original Atlantans. You born and raised here, and as they say, the dirty South.
So, I mean, when it comes to house music, and it's weird and it's crazy because house music is black music, but I got into house music because I would go to clubs in Europe and hear house music, and I was like, oh, I feel that vibe, and I hear it here, and I feel that vibe. But I really got into it when I got to college. I met people from Jersey, from Chicago, from New York, and they were like, oh, yo, we're going here, we're going there.
There's a little bit of Baltimore in everything you do.
No, let me tell you something. Baltimore is high on the list because, let's be real, Basement Boys were what I was listening to before I got to college. So that's what I'm talking about. So when I got to college, I started hearing more of the underground. Basement Boys were killing it.
Weekender.
Yeah.
How did the Weekender come about?
ATL Weekender. So ATL Weekender came about because we've been doing a party for years called House in the Park. And it was a free house music party. And we were like, you know, I've been traveling playing, so I was like, okay, well, I went to a party in England called the Southport Weekend. My boy from Chicago was doing a party in Mexico called Mi Casa Holiday.
Right.
And we saw how people travel for this. And then we looked at our numbers and we were like, okay, well, people are traveling for House in the Park. So why aren't we giving them a full weekend, not just a day of events? So we came together and we said, look, each one of us is going to do an event that weekend.
So each one of you, like, so yourself,
Kai, DJ Kimmett, and Ramon Rosso, who started House in the Park. And we came together and said, we're each going to do a party. And, you know, for a while there, that was the only way we were making money, was the parties that we were doing
on
the
weekend
because we were doing the park party was free.
Right.
And the park party was all donations. So then we, you know, now it's a gated party, but it's grown. People love it.
It's a lot of energy. It's a lot of energy.
But and then also the weekend parties have grown. I mean, like we're here on this campus at Westside Motor Lounge. It's huge. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And we have activations in all the spaces, all the buildings. So, you know, this is beautiful.
Okay, so with the House in the Park energy and the Weekender, there's also this debate, you know, about, you know, the old versus the new, the young and the old. How do you see house transitioning here in the future? You know, I mean, with going to the younger crowd, are we as DJs and producers, or what's happening? I mean, is it going to happen only in Chicago? Do you think it's only going to happen in New York, the UK? Or is it going to happen here? Do you think the ATL is going to have that kind of juice? Because this is kind of a young crowd here, but they mostly into hip hop, you know.
Yeah, so I think it's growing. I just played a party at Underground last night. Young black woman playing house. Not the kind of house that we play, but it's theirs. Mm. So my thing is, when it comes to any music, it's about ownership. They need to feel ownership of what they're putting out.
Absolutely.
And feel ownership of what they're hearing. And it needs to connect to what they want to hear. And so house music is going to evolve just like hip hop. We might not like everything that they're doing, but we can support them in doing what they're doing because they're bringing people into the sound. And I listen to you know, young, you know, people in their early 20s singing. Like last night, I played Caught Up in One Night Love Affair. You know what I'm saying? I played Inner Life, and my nephew's like 20 something. You know what I'm saying? Still at college age, was singing every word. You know what I'm saying? I play Say by Alicia Myers. He's singing every word. What I'm saying nurturing them, not scolding them for not knowing what they don't know.
You find that often?
Oh yes.
I know
So-
we found that occasionally in Chicago where, I would go in some places and they would scold the young ladies on how they were dressed or how the young men
Oh
were
no,
dressed.
not that. Like I'm talking about the DJ. So me as a DJ, being from Atlanta, I play some house music and somebody come up and be like, "What you know about that?" You know what I'm saying? That should be the first thing out of your mouth. What the first thing out of your mouth is be like, "Oh, I love what you're playing." That's what keeps them into it.
Mm-hmm.
I love what you're playing. I love it. Where you can ask where they're from, but the first thing out of your mouth should be, "I love what you're playing," because that's what you connected to. The thing that got you up out of your seat was that this person was playing something that you know and enjoy. So, let them know that. Then let them know that they're doing something that you feel is out of the ordinary for where they're from. Understand that your culture has influence in different areas, and appreciate that. Like, I don't get mad at white people wearing dashikis. Why? Because I feel black culture should be everybody's culture. You feel
Why
what I'm
is
saying?
that? Why is that?
I feel black culture should be everybody's culture because black culture is a beautiful culture. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just like saying black people can't wear suits because white people created the three-piece suit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? Like, wear dashiki. There's nothing wrong
Everything
with
come from black.
it. Yeah, exactly.
Yo.
So
That is an interesting thing because that came up in one of the past.
I'm with him on that.
That came up in one of the past interviews as we had got into a debate about Caucasian producers making Afro house, and a lot of people got insulted by that, and dressing in the garb, just like they were talking about the Indian, the Caucasians say, hey, I'm dressed as an Indian and I'm this part Indian or that, and it was causing little animosities and things like that.
So I separate just somebody wearing a dashiki from performative culture.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're just going out and dressing up and that's not you normally, then I don't have no, I'm not with that. If you're just doing, if you're doing what is black music originally, and then not turning around and being like, if I'm playing this party, you need to have some black people on this bill, then I'm not fucking with you.
Mm-hmm.
You feel what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like we can't have all Afro bills and no Afro. You know what I'm saying? So I get that. I totally understand that because I love the music. I love that a lot of people are into the music, but it's not just about that. If you're that's the total definition of what do you call it? Just what do you call it? Taking the culture. I've been drinking, so. But
You talking about just of the
cultural
Afro
appropriation.
cultural appropriation.
That's the definition of cultural appropriation. When you take African music, play it, do a little bit yourself, play it, and then go and do parties that exclude African people, then you're not. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
if you're not helping African DJs and black DJs get access to the money, then you don't really care about it.
Thank you. So that's where the next question was going, which was, we were talking about the difference in the crowds that come out for techno, EDM, and things like this, and tech house, and now they got tech Afro. I'm working on tracks now for people that they want my soulful edge on tech. So now we got a soulful tech. So I guess my point is this: why aren't we seeing the techno crowds equaling in our culture? Is it because we have gotten too old? Is it that the music is not universal enough? Because remember, tech and all these different genres are crossbreeds, if you will, cutoffs of the main plant to become something. So when they heard that 4 on the floor, tech said, "Oh, I like that."
Take it somewhere. Yeah. So
I mean, house is the birth child of a lot of different genres.
and that's disco,
Right.
And then soulful dance. You know what I'm saying? Which was, fast R&B, really. You know what I'm saying? Like, so my thing is, the next level is really. I don't even think that people have the infrastructure right now for what we had. Like, there was a point where white artists didn't feel like they had any legitimacy unless they could play in black venues. You feel what I'm saying? Unless they could play for black people, they didn't have any legitimacy. Now they've created their own circles.
Well, that's true. And that's interesting that you say that, because some people feel like now we're reversing and we're trying to simulate too much. And that we're giving too much away of our culture and not holding on to, because they say if you go to other countries and deal with other tribes and other things, there's certain things that they hold sacred that, and are we becoming now too capitalistic? Like, hey, let me teach you how to house dance, or let me teach you how to DJ, or hey, you know what? Oh, what you do, I like your track, but it ain't got enough soul. Let me get in there and do this for you. Yeah. Are we giving away too much?
I don't even think that is the case, because let's be real, we're in America. Black culture is American culture,
right?
Because they didn't have any culture before us. And I'm not being facetious or trying to be ridiculous about it. I mean, the national anthem is stolen from the English, you know what I'm saying, song. So black culture we've created every American genre of music that is available. You know what I'm saying? Gospel, blues, country, bluegrass,
rock.
You know what I'm saying? It's all black people created. And so in America, we have been commodified. So black people are only worth what they can take and sell.
Okay.
So they could take and sell our labor. They could take and sell our music. They can take and sell our culture, our dress. You feel what I'm saying? So as long as they can commodify it, it's fine. It's when they feel like what we're doing is not beneficial to white culture, they got a problem with us.
That's deep.
So I don't, when it comes to house, we just gotta hold people accountable. That's all. You know what I'm saying? I've seen, I've seen the Doc Martens hanging with black people. You know what I'm saying? I've seen different, who are in the trenches, who come around and are about the culture. They're not about homogenous spaces. And then I see the DJs who are about homogenous spaces.
Do you feel his last argument that seems like it's ongoing, the divide of the cliquish, so it's certain, and I think we had this conversation on the phone once, where certain groups will support only certain venues, certain DJs. Do you think, of course I feel in a perfect world, if we can all come and just have a united party, it's almost, and I said this before, I think I was just talking to somebody the other day, it's almost impossible to put every single DJ down to play, and an event would have to go on almost 3 weeks to a month. To get so many different talented DJs, because there's so many DJs that are beefing, not just here, but in different countries too, because I thought it was just here, no, we're running into a different country where, they only go to see that person. They don't come to see me. I play just as good as him. I play just as good as her. How come I don't get that crowd, blah, blah, blah. How you feeling about that?
To me, beef is just a natural thing, so I'm not going to worry about it. Like, we operate based on what we think our crowd wants, not necessarily about what, other entities want to do. There's so many groups here that work together in Atlanta, you know what I'm saying? Shouts out to, people like, Bobby Steve and Kieran and Takayo and people like that. People are working together. You know what I'm saying? Like, when I say, we're not about homogenous spaces, these people making the effort to reach out to everybody.
How are they doing that?
Just through their networks. You know what I'm saying? They're not tailoring their music for another crowd, but they're opening it up to. So when you walk into that space, you don't feel like you're other.
Mm-hmm.
But you know about parties where you walk into that space and you like, well, what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? So Atlanta's in a unique position. I can't speak to other cities because I'm not there. But Atlanta's in a unique position where a lot of people work together. DJ Karen and Matt Sullivan, they book, Kim and Kai regularly. You know what I'm saying? So those guys are reaching out and creating parties where there's multiple people there. You know what I'm saying? When we do House in the Park, there's multiple, everybody's there.
Glad you mentioned, has House in the Park had a guest DJ?
Never.
Why is that? And there's no judgment. I'm just asking. I'm just curious.
Ramon, we thought about having a guest DJ. When we decided to have a guest DJ that year, the DJ couldn't make the flight, and Ramon took that as a sign, like, yo, we got our people, and the party has consistently grown since then.
Then don't re-break with it.
Don't break what's not fit.
Right.
Don't break what's already fixed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's dope. That makes sense.
Don't fix what ain't broke. There we go.
And, this will be my first one, man. This will be my first one. Because I'm from Chicago. You guys know that, and I've lived and breathed chosen few. So, this is Atlanta's version of that, and a lot of people don't know, and go ahead.
Well, let me say
Collective minds.
Yeah, let me say this. I tell everybody, when people say, well, how's it compared to this? I was like, there is no comparison. I was like, chosen few is chosen few. Collective minds is collective minds. House in the Park is house in the park. Jamboree is jamboree. What's the other one? The soul joint in New York. I mean, all of these park parties. Charivari is Charivari. West Coast Weekender is West Coast Weekender. All of these parties have a different element, and my thing is, I go to all of them if I can, because I want to get the difference. I want to be immersed in somebody else's culture for a while.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So big shouts out to Terry, Wayne, all of those are my big brothers. I love those dudes.
Mm-hmm.
They've had me play the after party for Chosen Few. I love those dudes. So I never tell anybody what we're doing is better. It's not about that.
Mm-hmm.
It's about it's different, and you got to go enjoy it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wouldn't say, if you got a party in Chicago that's here and a party in Chicago is there, but it's a good party, I ain't going like, I'm gonna skip this party because I only go to this party. I don't do that.
Well, I think you find more of that. It kind of reminds.
I know what you're saying.
It kind of reminds me of the beef. There was never a beef with Ron Hardy and Frankie Knuckles. Everybody made an assumption because Ronnie played for a certain demographic and crowd of people, and Frankie played for, at that time, more of an upper scale and type of crowd.
Right.
And Ronnie was kind of the people's DJ. He took rich, poor, black, white, I ain't care. Come on, let's party. And then you would find factions in the street going, Frankie this, Ron that, and then now you start getting that
from a
divide.
DJ's point of view, that's really based on where you can play, who wants you to play.
Mm-hmm.
Has nothing to do with who you want to come. Has everything to do with where you playing. I play at a hotel. Everybody doesn't feel comfortable in the hotel that I play at, but I do other parties and they feel comfortable at. So, this is comfortable for everybody.
Do you think, and these are our last two here, that I wanted to ask you, do you think, in the words of Frankie Knuckles, is the DJ now becoming bigger than the music? Are people paying ticket prices now more so because the DJ can now? I've heard some arguments with this, even with promoters, and they're getting a little irritated about it too. But is it a thing that the promoters started? Because I believe so. I mean, but on the other side, it's such a double-edged sword, because if you have a DJ that plays a selection well, how can you count them out of it? You see what I'm saying? At the same time, having a culture and wanting people to come out for the culture, because in some cultures, like when you look at Coachella and Daisy and Burning Man, we were just speaking of, things like that, people come more out for that experience. Do you think we should start building more on the experience more so than the DJ now?
It's good.
And I know we gotta be careful with that, because that hurts our pockets, right?
It's still, so the DJs that are the DJs that bring the dollars and all that stuff, is because they created an experience.
Okay.
You feel what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like you could play the best set in a hole in the wall, and certain people are just not going to want to beat it.
Mm-hmm.
And then you could play the best set in the nicest place, and people are going to be there. So people are not going to want to feel comfortable getting down in the nicest space.
Mm-hmm.
So my thing is, it's about a following, and that's why DJs are winning over the music right now, because DJs can create an experience with the music that doesn't without a situation where we don't have no radio play, and we don't have the nicest venues anymore. That DJ has to motivate people to come out. You know what I'm saying? So, and motivating people to come out. I tell new DJs all the time, I could invite you to my party, and you could play the greatest set, and everybody's gonna leave that party saying Salah's group, great party, because the people who came were my people. I invited them, and their connection was to me.
That's why I've always told DJs every time I talk about. I used to hear back in the day, I know you heard too. Oh man, I'm going there and play, I'm gonna take their crowd. You can't. That is the funniest thing. Your people have, your people are your people, my people are my people. The experience that they get from you and they get from me, or any other DJ out here, is uniquely them.
Right. They leave that party saying, I'm gonna keep coming back to his party. Mm-hmm. And that's his or her party. You know what I'm saying? Because we're doing some great parties as well. So,
because if DJ Joe Smo played very great at your party, they're just gonna identify that as Salah had an awesome guest at his party. I'm gonna keep going to his parties because he bring in good people.
Right. And if I didn't invite them and the people are just coming for the venue, then everybody's gonna be like, oh, that venue has great parties, and not even the DJ. You feel what I'm saying? So you gotta build a direct connection to your audience. And if you don't have a direct connection to your audience, then you don't have anything.
It's like when every time I hear that about this, what we just talked about, I always say, well, that kind of like, what came first, the chicken or the egg?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I totally understand that. But I mean, look, I was playing house parties, I was playing underground parties, I was playing before and after, soul music people came in, and that's how I built my crowd. People realized that because I would just get them dancing after the parties. You know what I'm saying? After Ledisi would come and perform, or Raphael Sadiq. You know what I'm saying? And
I love this stuff.
Yeah, so that's all it is. It's about building a connection and people recognizing you. So if you don't have a face that people recognize, I mean, and I'm not even talking. You got to have something that people can latch onto, whether it's your set or your style or something. But you know what I'm saying? When people remember Richard Dita. Richard Dita is 6'something. Mm-hmm. They remember him when they see him, and he'll get on the mic and curse a whole lot, and people remember that shit. So my thing is, you can play the greatest set. That means absolutely nothing, because there's a lot of people that this is house music. The music is so good, it sells itself. Let's be real. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's so much good music out there, and I'll be real with you. People might get mad at me, but there's so much good new music out there that people are not taking the time to listen to. And I'm like, yo, get over it. Like, it's gonna die if y'all just keep it with this. Like, it's so much new music out there. So just playing it is easy. You gotta motivate people. You gotta connect. You gotta go out and get emails. You gotta go out and get phone numbers. hit these people up. So if you could bring 15 people to a party, yeah, a promoter will book you.
Here's the thing, and I'm glad you said. I wasn't even gonna bring that up, y'all. But look, that is so true because I have this argument all the time, and I talk to you. DJs gonna get mad at me, but they always mad at me. So, but the point is, the point is, I'm not afraid to introduce new music to a crowd. But I'm also not dumb enough to know I'm gonna drown them with it, a whole bunch of it. You know, so I'm gonna give them some familiars. I'm gonna give them a little of the new that works well with the familiars, make that marriage, and then continue to set on. Now we do know, and I have been at parties, and I have seen this with my own eyes, where people get mad and say, they ain't playing enough disco. This party whack. They playing too much Afro. You know what? You know, oh, it's too much soulful. I'm falling asleep. They playing that sleepy music. You know, and you know, it's not enough four on the floor. Oh, you know, well, it's not enough classic tracky going on here. You know, at the end of the day, man, I've heard so much bomb ass music. So from that, man, to sum up the whole adventure here for the weekend, all the way into House in the Park, what would you want people across the world to know?
This is a festival where everybody's welcome. Whether you like, you know, Afro, soul, disco, we're gonna play all that stuff. But just come. If you're young, we're gonna play new music that you'll catch on to. If you're old, we're gonna play stuff that you remember. This is a festival. ATL Weekender is a festival for everybody, and House in the Park is a party that will change your life.
It's my boy.